ZeniMax Online Studios and their game The Elder Scrolls Online have introduced a gender-confused companion voiced by drag king Vico Ortiz. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at the Trent Report. Wrote this up over at thatparkplace.com this morning, and they posted this over on X. Meet Elder Scrolls Online's two newest companions ready to aid you across Tamriel, Tanloran, and Zareth Var. Both will be available when Update 44 launches, either in the Crown Store or included with an ESO Plus membership. In the subsequent post, the company provided a profile on Tanloran and referred to the character using themselves. You can see what it reads right here. Brash and energetic Tanloran finds themselves in a plot that could change the course of the Aldmeri Dominion. Race, high elf, archetype, medium armor, daggers, perk, various lockpicking advantage, voiced by Vico Ortiz. As for the second character, the company shared that Zareth Var is a member of an ancient order of Khajiit priests harnessing necromancy to redeem fallen souls. He wears heavy armor and wields a two-handed greatsword. His perk includes assists in finding heavy sacks, and he is voiced by Darren DePaul. So gamers are none too pleased about the inclusion of Tanloran and are letting developer ZeniMax Online Studios know. One wrote this: pointless virtue signaling these companies never learn. Another one wrote themselves, for F's sake, have you idiots learned nothing from Concord's failure? People don't want crap like this. No, they do not. Still another corrected the company simply writing herself. Accurate. Another wrote, and to no one's surprise, she has blue hair. I'm so glad I quit this game. Yeah, the memes, the memes write themselves, right? Blue hair, freak. Get this BS out of the game, wrote this person here using the Charlemagne. Another says, gender, mental illness, got it. So there's plenty of others like this responding to these various posts on X. I'm sure there's more on Reddit. I'm sure that there are more on Steam as well. But that isn't stopping game journalists such as James Troughton over at The Gamer already defending the inclusion of the character and its promotion of a disordered lifestyle. His main defense is that queer characters have been in the game for a long time, and he uses the Daedric princes as examples, and specifically Molag Bal. He also points to Emperor Antiochus Septim as well as Vivek, the living god of Morrowind. He also points to the Argonians as well. Those are the examples that he uses to try and to defend this degeneracy and disordered lifestyle. However, there is some nuance to this. Molag Bal is literally the main antagonist of the Elder Scrolls Online, and he wants to devour and enslave the souls of mortals and attempts to sow chaos, strife, and discord throughout mortal lands. The dude is a bad dude. He is evil. He is sick. He is twisted. He's basically Satan incarnate in the Elder Scrolls. As for Septim, the brief history of the Empire, Book 1 says this about him. Antiochus was certainly of the more flamboyant members of the usually austere Septim family. He had numerous mistresses and nearly as many wives, and was renowned for the grandeur of his dress and his high good humor. Unfortunately, his reign was rife with civil war, surpassing even that of his grandfather, Uriel II. So he's clearly depicted as a degenerate and seemingly terrible ruler, given the fact that his entire reign, it is run with civil war, rife with civil war. I think he almost loses the civil war, but I guess there's like a freak storm that I guess is seemingly conjured up, that it saves him. So I almost lost the empire in the Civil War. That's how terrible this guy was as a ruler, and given the fact that he lives this degenerate lifestyle there, having all these mistresses and all of these wives. Finally, Vivek is no hero either, despite being worshipped by the Dunmer. He had a marriage to Molag Bal, unleashed monstrous children into the world, and even rewrote his own history in order to portray himself in a good light or a better light. YouTuber Fudge Muppet actually has a really good breakdown of this. I'll actually have to fix this because I want to include his video in there. I should have done that. But he says this: it is important to remember that Vivek is also known to the Dunmer as the transcendent evolution of the Daedra that anticipated him, Black Hands Mephala, a foundation figure for the earliest Chimer. So he's literally like the successor to a Daedra of basically a demonic prince. So these aren't characters that you want to emulate. They're not role models. They're clearly all bad dudes doing bad things, clearly shown as bad examples. And this is important. This is important because, as I've cited in previous videos, cited in previous articles, Arkwright cycle novelist Brian Niemeyer, he actually has a new Kickstarter up, the second book in the Arkwright cycle. I've actually backed it. I really have loved Brian's X-Seed books. I recommend it as well. I'll have the link to the description in this article below if you want to check that out. I highly recommend it. His stuff is really, really good. But he noted back in 2023 that Hollywood was able to propagandize disordered and degenerate lifestyles by having audiences identify with protagonists living those lifestyles. Obviously, probably the biggest example is Will and Grace. They did this through quote unquote comedy. But he explains this: Hollywood learned through long trial and error to make the protagonist as likable and relatable to audiences as possible. The idea is to make audiences identify with the hero. And the way it happened was by Hollywood churning out decades of movies wherein heroes whom audiences identified with achieved their goals by acting according to the death cult's morals. He then reiterated to bring movie audiences around to your way of thinking, show characters they like being successful by acting in line with your moral standard. And that is exactly what ZeniMax Online Studios and the Elder Scrolls Online are trying to do, except they are clearly trying to push these death cult morals by pushing this person or this character as gender confused. Specifically, the company is attempting to normalize disordered lifestyles by introducing this companion to the player character and have that character aid the player on their adventures and quests. So like this is, oh, look, this person who's living this disordered lifestyle is your helper and is here helping you do all of these good things that you're doing and is aiding you in everything. So it's like normalizing that. So like, look, this is normal in this game. It's going to be normal in real life. This is what these people are trying to do. We have numerous examples of them literally saying this is what they are trying to do. We know this is what they're trying to do. And that's what they are doing. So instead of actually depicting these disordered and degenerate lifestyles as objectively evil and only lived by utterly demonic entities such as Moloch Baal or practiced by degenerate kings that almost destroyed their kingdoms, such as Antiochus Septim, there are now heroic characters such as Tan Loren aiding the player character. And they are clearly doing that to try and normalize this stuff in real life. And ultimately, it is going to lead to degeneracy. It's going to lead to the fall of our society. I think we're already seeing a lot of that happening right now. I think that the fact that they describe Antiochus Septim is a perfect example of what we can expect to see happening here. Fall of the society, potential collapse, and it's not good. That's why we have to oppose this stuff, because it's not just video games. This stuff does affect what happens to us in real life as well. And we have to oppose this stuff. And on top of that, it's wrong. This stuff is wrong. There's male and female. That's how God created us. There is no such thing as, themselves. It doesn't even make any sense. We are singular entities. We are not multiple people. Maybe if the person was like a schizophrenic, you could say that or a multiple personality disorder, etc. That might make more sense. But then again, that does not look like how this character is being depicted. It is clearly using left-wing, Marxist, communist, degenerate, demonic gender ideology. And that's what they are trying to push. And they're using this game to do it. And we have to say no. We have to reject this stuff. And I actually did play Elder Scrolls for a little bit online, but I haven't played it in a very long time. But I don't plan on playing it again. And I didn't include it in this article, but my friend Cabrutus Rampo, he pointed this out, and he was like, what are they going to include in the next Elder Scrolls after Skyrim that we know that they are developing? If they're putting this in their online game, one can only imagine the kind of degenerate, disgusting stuff they are going to try and indoctrinate people into Elder Scrolls Online 6. And just as another point here, this game has been around since 2014. They obviously are failing when they try and create new things. That one user brought up Concord. We've talked about that before. The new stuff isn't working when they're trying to blatantly push this. So obviously they're going to try and put this stuff into these older things where they already kind of have a captured audience, hoping that people will not actually say, no, I'm done with this. I'm not going to be playing this game anymore. I'm not going to be purchasing anything from you anymore. because they feel like they've already got that captured audience. But it's very easy to say no. It's very easy to uninstall. It's very easy to turn it off because there are so many other options out there for you to play. That you can pick up and do. You can go back, play some older games as well. But let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below. Remember to always be charitable, especially to each other, but to always, always speak the truth.